You're listening to a Sherman's Heads-Up Display video game review. Hey everybody, it's Sherman here, and this is the third installment of Sherman's Heads-Up Display's video game review. Review this week will be on Iron Man the game. Iron Man, created for the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, Nintendo DS, and the PC by Sega Games, is a game based off of the first summer blockbuster movie. The object of the game is to become the one-man army and take out the people that held you captive along with their army that is scattered across the country you are being held in. Let's get into some detail here on the game. Detail of the game is designed very nicely, to put it in a nutshell. The graphics are as high quality as you're going to get with a movie game, so don't expect Call of Duty 4 visuals. The landscapes from a distance looks very well done, but once you get close enough, they seem to be just layers of bitmaps with some kind of raised surfaces on them. Along with the landscapes looking quote-unquote okay, the soldiers that litter the ground when you land feel like the soldiers you fight with in the classic Area 51 arcade game. The tanks and missile platforms that dot the maps look as if they were pulled from Command and Conquer. Now, the only reason I mention these games is that way you can imagine what everything looks like. Now, with Iron Man himself, he looks exactly like he does in the movie. His armor gleams in the desert sun, the curves outlining his body give the very faint shadows that make him seem real. But in the case of this versus everything else, which would be the background, scenery, vehicles, and enemies, it looks as if Sega just spent their time making him look pretty instead of dividing up the work between each part equally. Now let's get into the controls of the game. Worst part of the game. The controls from the start are very choppy and feel like someone just took the schematics for the controller and just threw up all over them. It's that bad, hate to say it. Switching between flying, hovering, and walking is a challenge all on its own. To walk, it's just basic toggle forward on the left joystick. To hover, you hit A, but to fly is to push X and use the right joystick to move you around. Controlling movements while flying is horrible. To raise the nose of the suit, you push the joystick up. Just take that and reverse it for going down. I'm just glad that Flight Simulator was kept in the able hands of Microsoft, because if it ended up in the hands of Sega, you wouldn't be able to take off. The firing controls tend to go off balance when you move around during hover and flight. Plus, during your hover, you can't stay in one position. The thrust is set to move you up and up and up till your targeting system goes to shit. Next part of this would happen to be the sound. One of the better aspects of the game is the sound. The tracks are taken directly from the movie, along with a few compilations by the Sega guys. The only thing missing is the Black Sabbath and the AC/DC, but all in all, the music puts everything into pace. The sound effects of the game are very nicely done. If you shoot, the sounds go bang. If you fly, the sounds go whoosh. If you blow something up, then you should know what that sounds like. Jarvis, the artificial intelligence butler in the movie, also makes his appearance in the game as well, guiding you along the way with how many more objectives you have left to do and when you're running low on power. Final thought on this game. With the movie being a hit at the box office, the game is not shaping up to do the same. It looks like a superhero game that feels like a back-end mod for Half-Life. The musical scores are outstanding, making your heart race as you go on to complete the mission. And Jarvis is always there to lend a hand, or should I say heads-up display, of what to do next.
Heavy ground defenses detected, sir.
The controls, though very awkward, take some time to get used to. It almost took me 3 hours to figure out what I could and what I couldn't do with the controls. But, in my opinion, this game should only be bought by the diehard fans of the Marvel Universe and the Iron Man nuts. But if you feel a need to get the game, avoid this as much as possible. Final Sherman's Heads-Up Display rating, 2 out of 5.
Looks like I'll be able to make my date with Miss Romanoff.